Hi guys! Today we're going to read The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. There are lots of rhyming words in this story. You guys can see. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. Uh-oh, look at all the plants here. Doesn't look very clean. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows. The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. The Onceler, huh? Wonder who he is. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store, where he lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miff-muffered moof. There are lots of silly words in this story. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. On the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail and the shell of a great-great-grandfather snail. Lots of rhyming words. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you'd paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you pay him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his groovulous glove. So silly. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-ma-phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears. He's very secretive, that Onceler. Slup! Down slups the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose. And he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. And under the trees I saw, oops, did I skip a page? I did, sorry about that. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the Swami swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. Look at how beautiful it is there. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Wow, do you guys think it looks different here than it did at the beginning of the story? I think so. Look at the beautiful truffula trees. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. So there's the Onceler. You can see him there. What do you think he's unloading from his cart? In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. Shop and chop rhyme. Shop. I'm going to point to that word. S-H, shop. And chop, C-H, chop. Remember, we've been talking about those two letters that make one sound? And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. There's a thneed. Looks like a funny outfit. So the Onceler is chopping down trees to make this clothing. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was a sort of man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't think that I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. "Mister," he said, with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." That means he's shouting. He was very upset as she shouted and puffed. "What's that thing you've made from my truffula tuft?" That thing. The thneed. "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed." But for the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor silly guy. You can never tell what some people will buy." Uh-oh. These are the Barbaloots in their Barbaloot suits, and they're looking concerned. A little worried. "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Be quiet, if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone, and I put in a call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, "Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch." Uh-oh. Look at this, he's making a really big factory. It looks like he's cutting down a lot of truffula trees. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Bees and trees rhyme. So it seems like they're cutting down a lot of trees right now. Then, oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. Oh my goodness, look at all the trees that they're chopping down. All the truffula trees. Remember how we talked about how different animals live in trees? But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown Barbaloots. who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. Oh no, the barbaloots ate the fruit from the trees. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. Does the Onceler care about the barbaloots? No. Now they have to go. They have to find a new habitat because their truffula trees are getting chopped down. Oh no, look at the sky. Doesn't look as nice as it did before, does it? I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered the loads of needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. You can see all the pollution coming out of his factory. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. Gripes means complaints. I am the Lorax, he coughed, and he whiffed. He sneezed, achoo! Oh, Onceler, he cried with a crofulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throats. Uh-oh. Looks like the Onceler's hurting more animals because of what he's doing to the environment by cutting down all these trees and making big factories. Whew, it's a heavy book. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. That's all the smog, all that pollution in the air. That big dirty looking cloud. What's more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. It means he's getting upset. Let me say a few words about Gluppity-Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also schloppity-schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. Look at all these dirty chemicals. Schloppity-schlop. Oh no, look at how different it looks now. You guys see? You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. Remember how fish have gills to breathe? Their fish are all gummed, all full of trash. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at that Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone everyone needs. Does everyone need a Thneed? No, probably not. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more Thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved goodbye. They jumped into cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big, empty factory, the Lorax, and I. There were no more trees to cut down. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. There he goes. The Lorax warned him. And all that Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. What do you guys think that word means? The message from the Lorax says, unless. Unless what? Do you guys know? But now, said the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. See that little boy here? The Onceler says, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You are in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends will come back. The end. I love this story. All right, guys, I'll see you later.